Well, his lawyers did a very good job of addressing that, actually, because they tried to do what's called a perp walk on Mr. Langford, where they tried to get the media there, and certain people who were involved in that made sure that didn't happen. And I say shame on the Justice Department, well, the prosecutors who tried to make that happen. If you're going to arrest somebody, go and arrest them. Don't wait on Fox 6 and 13 and all these other TV stations to show up. It shows that there are some political ramifications of this.
Isn't that what TK said last week? If they want to get you, they will get you. And I kind of felt that too, you know, just kind of looking back on how everything was handled legally. It's like you can kind of tell that, you know, they were out to really get him by any means necessary.
Well, they were. I mean, but that's in any criminal prosecution.
Yeah, but I'm like,
if they indict anybody, they're out to get them. But I think that situations like that where you want TV cameras to show up where someone's being arrested so that you can get them being arrested, that's a little overboard for a prosecutor to do.
Sound like a publicity stunt to me.
It was.
And then, like, looking at the fact that we don't like to just play the race card, but you look at what we are. We are in Birmingham, Alabama, home of the civil rights movement that has not stopped moving.
Exactly.
So you look at stuff like that and you see him coming out of work without a jacket on, shaking, cold, still chilling, still smiling. But, you know, it's just all the way wrong. Like, the whole tone was wrong from the very, very beginning. You're listening to the School of Hip Hop 95.7 Jams. Me, your local Lady Woo. The panel is here. The show you've been waiting for this week. I'm trying to educate you a little bit so you won't be walking around here being ignorant. He was a crook. He should have got it like that. He ain't do nothing. Now you know. So now you can shut up. Okay?
I love it.
What do you see legally, Mr. Guster, for Mr. Langford and the other public officials and politicians who will be sought after? They will be.
In the future, I believe there will be some lawsuits filed in reference to the sewer bond debt. There have been several accusations in reference to money going to certain firms for not doing any work and for the benefit of the sewer financing. And I believe that some people will be sued and asked to give their money back.
Oh. So no more 60 count type situations, huh?
Well, there's statute of limitations on most of these cases for 5 years, and a lot of those statutes have run. And the SEC, which we were discussing the sewer bond debt and the scandal, the SEC was actually tape recording these people back in 2002, 2003.
Right.
They were actually recording and listening to these conversations, which my question is, why did it take them 6 years to bring these charges? If they knew all of this was going on, why wait 6 years to bring charges?
We trying to get all of it.
All we can get out of this
everything.
Everything.
And they got plenty.
We want it all. So you didn't really just work directly with this case.
I did not work on this case at all.
Not at all. Yeah, you just did your homework. And
I did my homework.
We like that. We really like that because we have somebody that come in, not really biased, but just knowing what you know. Tell me some things that you would have done differently.
I don't know anything that I would have necessarily done differently.
Okay.
Of course, hindsight is always 20/20. As
right.
trial lawyers, a lot of people. Let me say this: a lot of people are criticizing the lawyers in this case,
Exactly.
but as trial lawyers, you're in battle. You know, you are in battle fighting for someone's life. So it's easy for someone on the outside to say, "I wouldn't have said this, I wouldn't have said that," and even with the change of venue, people are criticizing that. Every county commissioner who went to trial in Jefferson County was convicted. So why would you think it would be different for Larry Langford?
Because.
Well, I got a question.
Yes.
And I think this is a question a lot of people have, and maybe you can shed some light on it. Why would he not testify? What would be in your opinion, the plus and the minus of not testifying?
Well, one issue in federal court, if you testify and they think that you lied, they'll add a case to you later on. They'll add a count. Secondly, the prosecution must prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt, and if they felt that they did not prove it, that he may not have testified. And you have to keep in mind, in this particular case, they did say Larry never asked me for anything. He never asked me for money. He never asked me for clothes. But I believe that the jury may have looked at the implication. You know, you didn't ask for it, but somebody paid for it. That may have been kind of asking silently.
Okay, and that brings me to another question. You know, I looked over the trial and I saw what I feel like, was he really judged by a jury of his peers?
We discussed that last week.
Well, last week, matter of fact, I want to give a shout out to all the listeners because I couldn't even call in last week. Y'all had the phone lines tied up, so that's a shout out to all the listeners. I was listening, I heard that, but I'm asking the lawyer who's here today.
Right.
Well, I don't know who everyone in the jury pool was, See, when we have jury pools and choose a jury, there's a big room of people that we strike from. Each side has a certain number of strikes where we cut people. Kind of like when you're playing pickup basketball and you cut folks. Like, I don't want him on my team. I don't want him on my team. That's what you do with juries. The judge doesn't necessarily pick these jurors who are going to sit. You have a big pool of people and they cut. And they had some African Americans on there, so they may have been jurors of his peers.
Check this out. This is a text comment. Many black people didn't want him to go to Tuscaloosa, Rednecksville, for trial. They felt it was a lose-lose situation for him. So some people feel like no matter where he went, the picture was already painted. Like it was already downhill. Like, I mean, it is what it is.
Basically.
Steven?
I asked Eric this, Mr. Guster, earlier. You know, my grandmother and a lot of people was like, he should have went to the black belt. But this wonderful lawyer just informed me that the Tuscaloosa is the only federal court in the black belt. So actually, he went to the black belt, but hey, I mean, they just didn't pick the right jury.
When they out to get you,
they will get
you.
Yeah. And I think I made a mistake when I said that Montgomery actually pulls from some of the black belt also, but Tuscaloosa has more of the black belt counties in its federal jurisdiction because they pull from Greene County, Sumter County. I'm leaving a county off.
Marengo.
Right, Marengo. They're pulling from that set of jurors. So they did have it was a black belt county jury.
Okay. So we getting text messages about the quotes that he was using during this.
Oh yeah, I love that. That was my favorite part.
You got one too. I was like, can Steven just go ahead and do the thing?
Yeah, come on.
Big glad too.
We're gonna interrupt with this. Go ahead, Steven.
Confidence is the ability to know how to get things done, Larry Langford. Birmingham is a big, raggedy town, Larry Langford. The worst thing to ever happen to Birmingham is the Birmingham News. Hallelujah, Larry Langford. Life isn't fair, but you're only here for a short while, Larry Langford.
Then what do we like, Courtney?
I love when he said, when you're in a position to command.
I love that. Yeah. I'm going to do that.
Yes.
Hey, let me tell you what this one says. Jessica, what did you get?
Oh, 1-to-1 Steven said. So.
Oh, hold on, let me pull it up. She says, my new motto from Larry, throwing people under the bus is an excuse for failure.
What you say?
And I think that may be the biggest part of this issue, that his friends threw him under the bus. Exactly. So Black just throws the air quotes up.
Quote,
his friends.
But his friends were facing a lifetime sentence.
He is too. So
well, he is too.
But, going down.
But you know, his friends were put between a rock and a hard place. Either you testify against this man and get 5 years, or you stand silent and go to trial and probably face the rest of your life.
See, that's why they allowed them to turn themselves in first, and then when they picked them up at work.
They did.
Yeah. Actually, I don't really think they were his friends. I think he was a setup from the jump.
A setup from the jump,
the beginning.
Starting how far back?
30 years ago when he first started.
Okay.
If you see someone in power that has to drive to make things happen in the city, and just so happen it's a black man, you know, you gonna have haters. You got people trying to shut you down and try to go ahead and get to you. Let's go ahead and set him up. Let's record these phone calls from 2002.
Exactly.
Why just throw it on me right then? You gonna wait till I do some more stuff and then try to get me.
Because I'm trying to get you.
The Securities and Exchange Commission recorded phone calls from the investment bankers. It wasn't the people who testified against him.
We keep hearing the name Alice Martin. She's not there anymore, but she got a lot of stuff brewing before she left.
She did.
I think that maybe somebody knew what was going to happen. Somebody wrote this down and they worked on it. They checked things off as they took place. So you have these people that have their names in the hat now to run for mayor. Now, non-biased, I live in Birmingham and I've been here all my life. Non-biased when I say this, but a lot of people think that some of these people had a lot to do with this case and the outcome of everything that has happened to Mr. Langford.
I mean, you have to look at who benefits. I mean, if Larry falls, I mean, if they get him, quote unquote, who benefits? I mean, at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself that question. You have to look beyond what happened to Larry Langford.